Look, I'm going to be honest with you. If your main source of news is TikTok, Facebook, or X, something is already deciding what you see, what you believe, and how you feel. And it's not you. And I'm not picking sides here. The left-wing stuff on TikTok is garbage. The right-wing stuff on TikTok is garbage. Same with Facebook, same with X. Because none of these platforms care if you're informed. They care if you're engaged. Those are two very different things. Here's what's actually happening to your brain. MIT tracked over 126,000 news stories shared online. They found that false news is about 70% more likely to be shared than true news, and it spreads roughly 6 times faster. 6 times. The truth literally cannot keep up with the bullshit on these platforms, and that's not an accident. That's the business model. And here's the part nobody likes hearing. It's not, bots doing this. When researchers removed all the bots from the data, the results didn't change. Humans spread false news more than true news because false news is more emotional, more surprising, more outrageous. It triggers fear and disgust. And what does your brain do with fear and disgust? It hits share. So when you're scrolling and some guy with a right ring light tells you Democrats are eating babies or that Trump secretly fixed the economy, and you feel that little rush of, I knew it. That's not you being informed. That's you being manipulated. An algorithm figured out what makes you angry, scared, or smug, and now it feeds you more of it forever. That's not news. That's a slot machine. And you're pulling the lever thinking you're getting smarter. A decade ago, 4% of Americans said social media was their main news source. Now it's a third. And somehow during that same period, we've become more polarized, more confident, and less informed. That is not a coincidence. You know what people complain about? The New York Times, Rutgers, the Associated Press. And you know why? Because they're boring. And they're boring because the truth is boring. Real journalism doesn't tell you how to feel. It just tells you what happened and lets you decide. TikTok does the opposite. It tells you how to feel first and then gives you just enough information to justify that feeling. That's not news. That's propaganda with a soundtrack. And I'm not saying this from, on high. I scrolled for years, but when I actually started reading policies, documents, numbers, I realized how much of what I knew from social media was wrong, incomplete, or deliberately misleading. So here's the ask. Read something boring. Read something that doesn't already agree with you. Because if you're getting your news, from 30-second clips, you're not informed. You're programmed. And somewhere in Silicon Valley, someone is making money off of how predictable you have become. Don't be that person. Read something, anything. Just stop letting an algorithm decide who you are.